Good morning, floorheads. For us, it's Saturday morning. For some of you, if you're watching the recording, it's a little bit later than that. And I know for other people in the other parts of the world, it's a little bit later. We have the season finale of the Umbral Means crew today, playing a little bit of Blades in the Dark. So what our plan is to come back in the fall, but this will be the last we'll see until then. We started off in a very interesting position. Let's go ahead and bring the cast in. Greetings, everybody.
Hello.
So, for those that did not watch the end of session 5, here is the situation. The Umbral Means crew decided that you wanted to get a little bit of turf. And they felt that the best way to do that was to maybe get a little bit of canal areas, kind of under your control, which means you had to consult with the gondoliers. Galen went and talked to the gondoliers, and the gondoliers said, well, we'll make a deal. Our rivals, who we're having trouble with right now, are the Red Sashes. If you can make their life difficult, we'll make your life better. So the plan was decided. You guys are going to go into the Red Sashes Academy, which is a front for the Red Sashes, where they train people in Eruvian sword arts. But really, all kinds of things happen through that front as a gang. And you decided, we're going to go in there. We're going to infiltrate and sabotage them using supernatural means. We then did the engagement roll. And despite throwing more than just one die, we ended up with a desperate starting position. So let's hop over to Crow's Foot real quick. If you look to the east on Crow's Foot, right off of Flint Street, is the Red Sash Sword Academy. So we're going to start this off as a montage to kind of set the scene. The camera's going to fade in from black, and we're going to be just outside the Red Sash Academy. One of the rare places where we have fake greenery all surrounding it. It is really stands out as much different than all of the rest of Crow's Foot. The academy itself is a grand, tall building, red with all types of Eruvian tile decorations all over it, with a large door that's led up to by marble stairs. As we pan back from seeing the academy, we can see 3 people walking towards it. We see Galen walking with Talos and Reagan. We can't tell what they're talking about. They're talking with each other, and we see them slowly walk up to the steps. They go up the steps to the front door. There, standing at the front door, are 2 red sashes guarding. Galen walks over, talks to one of them, shows him a sheet of paper. He nods and opens up the grand door. Galen, Talos, and Reagan walk in to this beautiful hallway that runs far down the center of the Red Sash Academy. Big archways with kind of Persian shapes to them. We see the 3 of them walk down, and then there's a table. And there at the table, there's people in line checking in. Finally, Galen, Talos, and Reagan get to the table. Galen puts down 2 papers in front of them. The guys sitting at the table read the papers. They look at Reagan, pick up the other paper, look at Talos. They nod. They point them to one door, and Galen, they point you to another door. And we fade back to black. We come back in. This time we're inside a room, inside of the academy. It's a grand room, and it's several minutes later. It's about 3 stories tall, arched, with a line of essentially cubby alcoves along the very top of it. In the center of the room is a sunken octagon, where we see men and women dressed in very loose-fitting pants with ropes tied around their waist and essentially white t-shirts. And they're walking in a circle. And in the center of the circle is an instructor. It's a woman in a red sash. Let me show you what she looks like. In the center, with a wooden fake sword, essentially a training sword, that's got a nice kind of scimitar curve to it. She's standing there, and though we can't hear her because of the music of the montage, we see her instructing these students as they walk in a circle around. Outside of the octagon, we can see people sitting, watching these students as they begin their training. And as the camera pans along those sitting and watching, we see Lamplighter sitting in the crowd, arms crossed, watching. The camera then pans down to the students, and we see the students' faces as they walk by. All of these faces we haven't seen until we see Reagan in her white shirt and her pants. More students walk by, and then we see Talos, also in a white shirt, rope tie. They then line up in the middle of the octagon. Each of them are given a wooden sword, and they begin drills. The woman, the instructor, demonstrates a way to slash, and the students follow. And the camera pans back as we watch this training, back up to where we can see these alcoves, these little areas lined along the top. And the camera goes in on one of them, and we see a shadow move. And a face peeks out, and tucked into that alcove, we see Elias, our hound, looking down quietly over the entire situation. So that's where we start, but that's not a desperate position. Here's what happens next. Two men come in through the door, and they work their way through all the people seated, and they come to Galen. Galen, they stand in front of you. Both of these men, easily 6.5 feet tall, very distinct Eruvian features, dressed in formal red sash dresses. The first guy goes, I have to say, we were impressed. Whoever it is who created your forgeries, had we spent a little less time looking at them, you might have gotten away with it. Let's not make a scene. Stand up. Follow us.
Galen will go ahead and stand up. He's going to hide his surprise and yes, follow them. Basically going, well, we are here to learn and better ourselves, aren't we? Do you have a class on making better paperwork?
Very, very funny. Jonah, he points to the other guy that was with him, go get the students. So now we see the other large man work his way towards the octagon. Reagan and Talos are in the back to the entire situation, practicing with their wooden swords, following the instructor. This man jumps into the octagon, walks up, puts his hand on Reagan's shoulder, and puts his hand on Talos' shoulder. He whispers, we're not going to make a scene. Just walk out with me.
Oh, is this the part of the training, then?
Walk with me.
Should we, simulate, defense against, random perpetrator, or, how do we... I need more instructions for this.
So he squeezes on your shoulder, Talos, as you get smarter and smarter with your speech, to the point where it's it's starting to really hurt him.
All right, let's go then.
Reagan, you follow along?
Yeah, I'll just kind of somewhat snidely just say, this will be a lesson in following orders.
So he's got both of you in front of him. He's walking up. There's a shallow staircase that leads out of the octagon. The three of you are now together, being escorted by these two gentlemen. Up in the in the observation area, everybody was seated in a circle, but there was a kind of like essentially a box seating up above, and there was 3 people that were seated in this box area. You had an Aruvian man, somewhat androgynous looking, short hair, scruff on his face, and you're familiar with him. You know who he is. He is it's Mylera, who's leader of the Red Sashes. And normally during these trainings, he sits up there by himself and watches them. But one thing that was interesting, though, is there was 2 other people also sitting there with him. A woman that you've never recognized before and a man. Both of them dressed in elaborate black clothing. So we shoot back to the 3 of you being escorted out. You're not being taken to a door that you came in from. You're being taken to another door. He's escorting you along and taking you to a door that's on the far side, and 2 Red Sashes are opening the door and escorting the 3 of you in. Obviously, Elias, you're seeing all of this.
Yeah, at this time, Elias has got his eyes focused on what's happening, and I'm deciding not to do anything major at the moment, but keeping my eyes peeled, focused on where these guys are going and tracking them, ensuring their safety.
So from where you are, you're not going to be able to. You'll be able to track them leaving the room, but you're not able to see where they're headed from where you are. So you only have right now visibility to the training room itself, which I believe the original plan was to do whatever you guys were planning on doing there, and obviously plans are quickly changing.
I imagine there's a back way of getting out of this little hovel that I'm in. I'd like to try to track and get and try to figure out a way of following them inconspicuously, if possible.
So you have kind of, you got here the night before. You slept up there. So you kind of worked your way around. It takes you to kind of a servants area. It's going to be a hard roundabout, but you've got a good lay of the land. It's going to take a little bit of time, but you should be able to get to where that room is, where it leads off of. So now the door opens, and the 3 of you are escorted into this room with these 2 gentlemen. There's 3 other Red Sashes already there, and there's 3 chairs, and you're forcibly sat down in the chairs. Guy who's obviously the leader, who's got a full Aruvian beard with some gray in it, steps forward. Explain yourselves.
All eyes go to Galen.
Yep.
Sorry, Galen.
and Galen, again, at this point, he's swallowed his surprise, and he's taken the opportunity while walking over here to kind of think on his feet. And he essentially presents them with, well, apologies for the subterfuge, but we'd heard such great things about your school that we just had to find a way in, and unfortunately, we're not ones that would be normally welcome due to our past experiences and I'd hesitate to call them friends, but connections. So, hoping to find more of a way into your fine establishment here, we may have bent a few pieces of information we gave you. That said, I do apologize. It was all out of admiration for everything you do here. And essentially what he's going to end up saying is he's going to sell that we are people that worked under, not directly for one of the gangs that they are just really not having a good time with. Not anybody they're at war with, and not mentioning the canal folks specifically.
Yep.
Want to not mention them at all. Yeah, not mentioning the gondoliers. But he's going to essentially go, we wanted a way out from under their wing, and we've always liked how you did business.
So the message is we're not here to learn how Arubian sword arts. We're here to team up and become part of the gang. And this is the only way we can think of doing it. Okay. We might need a roll.
Okay. And I do want to say, in my loadout, I'm going to go ahead and add a fine cover identity.
Oh, okay.
With the not only paperwork, but also planted stories and rumors, false relationships, sufficient to pass as a different person. To basically say, yes, this was my backup plan.
That'll get you a die, depending on what action you choose. Just very quickly, though, I forgot to mention, what loadout did each of us choose? So, Galen, what loadout do you have?
I went with a normal.
You went normal, Elias?
Same, normal.
Cornelius?
So did I.
All right, and Reagan?
Yep, normal as well.
Everybody went normal. All right. All right, so, Galen, what is our role going to be?
Well, with as much as I'd like to say consort, because it's nice for me, I think the better way to go here is sway, because I'm trying to sell them on this idea, and I think the fine cover identity would help support that. It is providing the support for the lie I am trying to sell them very hard.
So, a couple factors here. One, I think effect is normal. So I think we have a normal effect here. It is going to be a desperate action. The reason I think it's going to be a desperate action is this is now the second set of fake documents you put in front of them. And this is the second time you're pretending to be somebody you're not. But it's a pretty good cover story. So let's just do a standard sway. And we're going to set that as desperate with a normal action. You get +1 die from your papers, so your loadout will give you an additional die. Do we want to do anything else to this roll?
I will assist for sure.
Okay,
Right.
And how are we going to assist?
So we're talking. So look here, fellow friends. We're from the same country, and based on our past experiences, I was not able exactly to find my place here in the city. But once we saw there is this dojo, and here you are from Iruvia as well, and we didn't know that before, and we are really eager to get in, especially me, to have some, camaraderie here.
Yeah, definitely. And you being a Ruvian really helps that. So that's easily an improvement. Now, Galen, do you want to use that assist to improve your position, or do you want to use it for another die?
I think I'm going to take the die.
Okay.
Farming the XP.
All right, yeah, so go ahead and mark it. You're going to be taking a desperate action, so you can mark that XP.
I took 1 stress, right, for this.
1 stress, yep. Do you want to push this, Galen?
No, that gives me 3 die. I feel fairly comfortable with that, and might need the stress elsewhere.
So
jinxed it. Totally jinxed it.
Famous last words.
Standard desperate sway.
Yeah.
One way to do it. We got our 6. We got our success. So this gentleman with the beard listens to you, very skeptical eyes. Talos jumps in. He starts to nod his head a little bit as Talos talks. What is the name of your organization?
The organization we're coming from is the Blue Waters. It's a minor underling gang of
very minor.
The dock workers.
Very minor. I've never heard of them. And why exactly would the Red Sashes gain any benefit from having you 3 here?
Well, among any other skills we may be able to bring to the table. After all, our forgeries, your men said themselves, given any less time with them, we would have made it fine.
They were impressive for
amateurs.
amateurs.
With a bit of work. Perhaps I misunderstood what your men were saying then, but I appreciate the compliment nonetheless. Either way, we're here to try and learn, and to take what you can give us or rather, earn what you can give us, and show that the Eruvian way is really what everyone in Doskvol should be following, because it's a better way of life.
All I'm hearing is how we benefit you.
That's fair.
Okay,
We're
here.
Because
We're here. We are talking, and obviously,
Mm-hmm.
what are our needs? Where we can fit in? Like we can take, obviously, you're great at what you're doing, but for sure you can be spread out too thin, and maybe there's the place where we can fit in and help you out. We can start with the small stuff, maybe to help you here and there, and once you'll see we are really good at what we're doing, then we might get some bigger job with bigger payments.
Also, not every...
Go ahead, Rennie.
Go ahead, Joe.
Also, not everything is a contest of blades.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Let's do this.
More non-Eruvian faces going about could be a boon to you.
Let's do this. I do think that you guys and lady could help. Let's start with these. And he motions to one of the gentlemen who goes over to this door that you really kind of didn't notice because it's a smaller door. Opens up the door, pulls out 3 brooms, walks over, thrusts a broom into each one of your hands. You can start with the floors.
Oh, very well then. And I will eagerly take the broom and start sweeping right where we stay.
So we cut to Elias. And Elias, you have worked your way off of the second story down to the first floor where they are. I do need you to kind of get yourself to this room. There is an entrance in the front that leads to the training area. There's also an entrance in the back. I think your best bet is through the back. But
Okay.
We're going to probably need some sort of roll to find out how successful this journey is going to be.
Yeah. I'll probably utilize my hunt skill since I'm tracking these guys and I'm figuring out the best way to get to that locale.
Okay. Let's talk about what the goal is. The goal is just to get there.
To get there undetected.
Okay.
And if this room has any kind of attic hatch or something secretive or something that I can still do some sort of oversight or listening in, my goal is to be able to drop in a moment's notice to help out or have some sort of oversight to handle business.
Gotcha. So maybe find a third way to observe what's going on as opposed to the front and the back door to this side room.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're going to use hunt. This will be a desperate action, and I'm going to give it limited effect.
We need another broom.
All right. I'm just going to go with it. I'm stressed out already.
Okay.
Let's see what happens.
All right. So partial success on a desperate limited action. So you start working your way, Elias. You get off kind of the safe area, that whole second level, which was just pretty much used for ventilation and things like that. You work your way down to where there's other actual people. You start coming back. You start going. You realize that there's not a top entrance to this. It's basically going to be front or back. You decide I'm going to go ahead and work myself to the back room. So you come to the door, kind of listen. So far, you really haven't run into anybody. It's quiet. You open the door, kind of creak it, peek in. Seems empty. You walk in, and as you walk in, you can see 3 people standing with their back to you. And you immediately recognize it as the 3 people that were in the high up end box. And one of them's reaching to open up the door into the room where you know. So at this moment, this second, they don't see you. but the three of them are there with their back to you, and they're about to go into the room where your fellow crew members are.
Okay, so I'm correct me if I'm wrong. I'm at the doorway going to where my Umbral Means crew is sitting on the chair with brooms in their hand.
You're in the room that connects to that room. So you're in the room
Right.
that is the back door to the room where they're sitting. And there's there's the three people that were previously watching the training are now there. You know one of them is Malera, the leader of the Red Sashes.
Okay. And then there's someone on the other side of that door about to open it to come through into my room.
No, they're opening the door. So Malera is reaching down to open the door. It looks like the three of them are about to come in to the room where everybody else is.
Is there anything in the room that I can hide in? Is there like what's in this room that I can kind of?
Yeah, there's. You know what? Let's have the walls themselves are covered with curtains, decorative curtains with Eruvian designs and tapestries on them. So yeah, if you want to slide in behind one of those, you sure can.
I think I'm going to try to do that to try to be undetected.
Great. Well, you're a hound. You have no trouble doing that. So you open the door. You realize what the scene is. Easily slip behind one of the tapestries. You work your way to kind of where two of the tapestries connect with each other, so you can kind of peek through and just kind of keep an eye on things. The door opens. Malera and these two mystery people walk in. The guy, we cut back into the room. You three are sweeping the floors. The gentleman with the big beard. Immediately, everybody stands to attention as soon as Malera walks in. What did we find out about our guests? They want to join the crew. They said that they are coming from some piddly pond water crew, I don't remember. Something I've never heard of. They said that they can help us, and they want to improve the Eruvian standing here in Doskvol. Felt that we would be of great help. I thought they could definitely help us. Thus, we've got 3 new members of our cleaning crew. So, Malera stands there, listening. And this woman that I mentioned, in kind of a dark black hood, who you don't recognize, very elaborate dress. The other gentleman, very plain, but in a kind of imagine a monk's robe with the hood. She reaches, just like you saw her do in the training room, she reaches over and starts whispering into Malera's ears. Malera nods. I completely agree. Sit them down. So, the other Eruvian men, including the bearded guy, takes the brooms from you, sits you down. Malera walks up, she goes, I don't know if I believe any of this, but luckily, I know someone who can find out. So this woman walks around, stands in front of you, and you see her reach into her a kind of a sleeve in her dress, and she pulls out this tiled mask. It's a mask that has all kinds of different tiles, glass tiles all over it. It has no eyes, just a space for the nose. And you see her put the mask on. And it, like a blue light, kind of shines around as she locks it onto her face. She begins to spread out her hands towards both walls and starts chanting. Se soson de la na, se la soson de la na.
Reagan, can you make anything of this?
I mean, I feel like context is pointing me in a specific direction, but I am interested in the kind of practice of this. So if I could make a roll just to kind of like more than anything, just by observing and the kind of process of this. Like, I've got a feeling of what this does, but I'm curious. Like, Reagan is curious about like other whispers and magic stuff.
So what we'll want to do, anytime we want an action, right? We want to use an action. We're gonna have to talk about what the stated goal is. So what's the goal, and then what action are we going to take?
Okay. The goal would be to figure out what part of the veil she is tapping into.
Okay. All right. How do you want to do that?
I feel like that's a study.
Okay.
And I'm more than happy to be like almost pretty open about being aware of this. Yeah.
All right, so she's chanting with her mask on. You can't tell if her eyes are open or closed. You just see nothing. It's a faceless mask with these glass tiles on it. She's doing her chanting. And Reagan, let's go ahead and do a survey.
Survey or study?
Or study. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let's make it standard. What is it? Standard normal or risky standard?
Risky standard. Got it. And not going to push or anything. Yeah, this is more for my own curiosity than anything.
This is one way to go through a score, is rolling a bunch of sixes. You got a 6 and a 1, so we're going to take that 6 for a success. You are familiar, Reagan, with this chant, this incantation that's happening here. It's called different things by different whispers. Sometimes it's referred to as the interrogation. Sometimes it's referred to the pale truth. But essentially, she seems to be trying to summon something that will potentially possess one or more of you and tap into the truth.
Mm-hmm. And with being familiar with that, do I know of any way to tamper with it?
Yeah, I mean, potentially disrupting it in any way. I mean, it could be, there's all kinds of different ways of disrupting it, from stabbing her in the chest to potentially, meeting her in the ghost veil as she tries to, summon the necessary spirits and demons in order to do this possession. So yeah, all of you have ways that you can do this. Elias, the door has been left open, so you're seeing, a sliver of what's happening. You now see that your fellow Umbral Means are sitting in chairs. This woman has put on some sort of mask and is going through this this chanting.
I think you're muted, Nick.
Can we hear you, Nick?
Yeah. Still can't hear him.
I hear you clicking.
There we go. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. There you go.
Am I in the? I'm in the room next door, and I'm listening through the
Correct. You're
the
in
door.
the connecting room. Correct.
Is there? I'd like to keep my eye open to see if there's a way I can sneak in. Do these curtains? Are they in that same room to where I can easily slide into the next room over?
I think it's going to be tough, to be honest with you, Elias, to get in there undetected, because the room is pretty crowded now. So now you've got the three that just entered. You've also got the four, it'd be 5 Aruvians that have been monitoring these 3, and then so yeah, the room's pretty crowded. It's not that big.
I think I just need to sit and listen and kind of hold my cards close to my hand until stuff hits the fan.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we cut back into the room. This woman has got her hands extended. Ediroso, Morion, Tagalono, Edason.
I think I want to do a flashback.
Okay.
I think I have a terrible idea.
I love your terrible ideas, Jeff.
Those are the best
ones. So I want to do a flashback in the in the area sort of around what would be easy for a whisper to call is go around sort of with my ritual and kind of begin putting the idea out and spreading it to as many spirits as I can. That what we are doing here is a good thing for them, and that any revelation before we've enacted our idea would negatively impact the Vale as a whole.
Very interesting. And I realized that I had not shown you what the woman looks like, so let me show that to you real quick. So this is the woman that we see. This is her, obviously without the mask on. So that gives you an idea of what we're looking at. All right. So you are going to attempt, in a flashback, to go ahead and convince the ghosts that would be potentially pulled in from this part of Crowsfoot that you're their ally, and that anybody else trying to say otherwise is a liar, pants on fire.
Yep.
All right. So I understand the goal. What's the action?
So, as much as I would love this to be a tune, I feel like using my position as someone who assists ghosts, I could pivot this into a command. Like, I feel like a tune is statistically way better for me, but command feels more in a wheelhouse.
Yeah, your result will be better with command. I completely agree with you. So let's go ahead let's go ahead and take 2 stress. This will be a 2 stress flashback. And it's going to be controlled because this is not happening in the thick of things right now. This is something that I would imagine you did back in your little hideout basement. And so yeah, it's going to be controlled standard. It's tough to get a great effect for this commanding ghost, but I think a standard effect is good.
Yeah.
So control standard. So we take the 2 stress for that. Do we want to do any other messing about?
I should probably push. Yeah, let's push.
Okay. So you're going to take the other 2 stress. Where does that put you now, Ray?
I've got a stress left.
Okay, that's good. That's one to work with.
But to use or left to go?
I left to go.
Okay.
Before I'm not in this. Because I feel like if this works, we're super in. All right. I'll make sure to add the extra die. Let's just roll 6s.
All right. So this is for the flashback. All right, a 5 and a 2. So it's going to be a partial success for you. I told you great effect or a standard effect. Let's cause this to be a limited effect. Excuse me. There we go. Okay. So we go to the flashback. We see you meditating, attuning with your bark tree spirit animal mask thingy, and you push yourself into the ghost veil and push yourself over to the area of the ghost veil that is most likely to be tapped into in and around the academy itself. You begin to tell your tale, being able to share your ideas there. Essentially what you get back from the ghosts is, we won't help you, but we won't help them either. We want to see how it goes.
Yeah.
Okay? So there's your limited effect. So we flash back to the woman. She's got her hands out. And Reagan, you notice she's struggling, right? So you're familiar with this type of incantation. It's already taken a good 15, 20 seconds longer than a reasonably, adept whisperer would be taking. And and the tilting of her head as she's going. You can see that she is struggling with it. But as that's happening, you begin to see kind of a green mist start to form up and down her arms, coming from the hands and the fingers. So whatever is happening is starting to happen. But she's definitely struggling. The man that was there with her, the one that has been silent and was in the plain clothes before, he walks up to her and he puts his hand on her mask like this, and you see him put his hand down and close his eyes, and you start to see now green energy coming from him, imbuing into the mask itself, and now it's starting to happen. So now you're starting to see the summoning occurring, and we're starting to see this. And not only is Reagan able to see it, but everybody in the room is able to see it, to the point where everybody but the leader, the other men, are kind of stepping back, kind of freaked out a little bit.
I'm stepping back as well, at least one or two
You're
steps.
seated right now.
Oh, damn it. Yeah, exactly. Like, squeaking chair, like pushing
So
back.
you start squeaking the chair back, and one of the guys, then all of a sudden you can't. You look back and you see a guy holding your chair, and he pushes you forward back into it. In fact, he not only does that, Talos, he only pushes you forward in line with Galen and Reagan. He pushes you forward just a little bit more. The woman now, instead of two hands straight out, is now puts her hand covering your face. And now you're starting to feel like energy and tingle coming from her hands, and just it starts off as a sour stomach. So you feel a little nauseous. You're feeling a little cloudy, a little dizzy. You're not really sure what's happening. Nothing like this has ever happened to you before. Galen, you're watching. Reagan, you're watching. And now you're seeing that energy almost directly coming from this monk-type gentleman up through her mask, down through her arm. This is giving her the power she's needed. And Reagan, you know this is the beginning of a possession.
We need a distraction, folks.
So does Elias, am I able to watch all of this unfold, or am I only seeing
all
a
of this
portion?
unfold, Elias?
All right. This might be a time for maybe a flashback on my part. Since I was there overnight in the wrong room, apparently, I imagine overnight I would look for some sort of uniform or clothes that these people are wearing, and so I can blend in and maybe have it underneath my trench coat.
I don't need that as a flashback, Elias. What we can do is, do you have any equipment that would fit
nothing
that?
Let's see.
So anything beginning in an H or that doesn't have a preface to it is within your...
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. I mean...
Maybe subterfuge supplies?
Yeah, costume, jewelry, reversible cloak, distinctive. Yeah, subterfuge. What you said, supplies.
Subterfuge.
Thank you. Don't ask me to say wash either. Wash. So yeah, I guess I could use what Roman said.
Great. Done. So go ahead and mark it. Go ahead and take that as part of your load. What is that, 1 or 2?
1.
1. So you have a normal load, which is 4, right? So you still have three left in your load?
Yeah.
Great. So under your cloak and your clothes, you have essentially a red sash servant uniform.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to take off my trench coat, kind of throw it in the corner, leave it behind the curtains, and blend in and walk in to view what's going on. And seeing what's happening. Oh my God, I lost my window. I got to do something about this.
So, if I'm understanding correctly, we're going to take the clothes off. You're going to be in the Aruvian servant's uniform, and you're just going to walk into the room. Do you have anything that you want to do once you do there, or is it just the goal to get into the room in this uniform?
Goal is to get into the room for sure. The Spiritbane charm. Oh God, I don't even know how to help. I hate ghosts.
Same.
You know what? I do have a trained hunting pet.
And what would this trained hunting pet be?
I guess it could be anything, right?
Could be.
I like the idea of a scraggly cat, like a hobo cat.
Okay.
And I'm gonna equip that now. I guess it's 0 anyway. It's my companion.
So I'm imagining like a messenger bag, and your what's your cat's name?
Phil.
Phil. So you got Phil.
I'll think of something cool.
No, it's Phil. I love Phil.
Okay.
So you've got Phil, who is this semi-mangy looking like cat, but God bless Phil. Phil is really good at what Phil does and has a great connection to you. Why you would call a female cat Phil, that's up to you. That's your own decision making. But she does what you want. She's very, very good at tracking and sneaking around, much like her owner. So yeah, she's in the pouch with you. Now the question is you're going to be shedding that as part of shedding the servant's uniform. So if we're going to equip Phil, I need to understand what's happening.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to step back and where I shed my uniform.
Yep.
It might cause some commotion, but step back, grab Phil out of her pouch, and let her loose, and I have a connection because she's a hunting pet, so
yeah.
I'm gonna kind of channel her and say, attack that lady, spirit. With the green shit coming out of her hands.
Okay. All right. So I understand the stated goal. I don't know what the action is yet. What's the action?
That's a good question. I don't know. I just want it to happen. I imagine it'd still be hunt because this cat's going to be hunting after this. I guess that's the cat making the hunt action, right?
Yeah. Which we're trying. Your stated goal is to get the cat to cause all kinds of havoc.
I don't know what would be used for this. Finesse.
Help them out, guys.
This is an odd one. I don't know how to approach it.
I was gonna say I could see command for the cat itself or consort since they're trained. Phil is an excellent friend of yours, essentially.
I like that.
Either of those jump out at me.
The intention to distract could be a rack.
Mm-hmm.
I think I like consort though because I have that camaraderie, and I'm going to go with consort. Yeah.
Okay. Considering everything that's going on, considering that the situation itself, we haven't even found out whether this little servant subterfuge of yours is going to even work or not. Being not Aruvian, I think it's going to be a little bit of a challenge in and of itself. Let's go ahead and make this a desperate action with a standard effect. The idea is you're going to be consorting with the cat, with Phil. And the idea is to send Phil into the room to cause havoc.
Yeah.
I'd love to take a step back and appreciate the fact that in this game we are using a cat as a distraction, and the role is what you use with camaraderie. Blades is very good.
I agree.
Absolutely.
So how many dice do you have? I'm thinking of assisting. But
I'm going to have one. I am going to push myself, so I'll have 2.
So I'm under the position in progress, right? So
you are.
I might be just struggling a little bit, moving more, making like the people next to me like hold me in place a little bit. And pull the focus on me to give him a place to act.
That's good. So do you want to take that, Elias, as an extra die, or do you want to improve either your position or your effect? So right now you're in Desperate Standard.
Desperate Standard, I push myself, so I'll have 2 dice. I think I'm gonna just add the extra die. I think
Right.
quantity over quality
So
is probably
Cornelius, let's
better
go ahead and
here.
take the 1 stress.
Got it.
And this is going to be
4
a
left.
desperate standard.
Desperate standard. All right, Lord bear me strength.
Oh, it wanted to roll a 6, didn't it? It was like the die that you give people watching the stream. They couldn't see the dice, the 3D dice, but they stuttered on the 6. All right, so we got 4, partial success. All right, so you let Phil go. Phil comes in and is behind the 3, is behind Galen, Reagan, and Cornelius. Our 2 practitioners of some sort can't see because she's wearing the mask. He's got his eyes closed as the energy's going. We got the face on Talos' hand. Malera does see this cat come in. The cat comes in and just lets out this awful, awful hiss and scares the bejesus out of everybody. The consequence is actually not going to be to you, Elias. The consequence, and it's going to have to be resisted, is going to be to Talos. The shock of this, I mean, for this woman, this is a very, very delicate process because she has to maintain control of this demon that she's using to possess Cornelius, so that she can get what she wants from this demon, as opposed to this demon just being completely the. And this is throwing her off, so it's going to be a level 2 harm. A level 2 harm. Let's call it. Ooh, I need a good name for it. Ghost Scar.
Ghost Scar.
Yep.
I already have one from my haunted trauma.
That's a level 1 though, isn't it?
That's a trauma. It's not a harm.
It's trauma. That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot. Yeah. All right. This will be a level 2 harm, Cornelius. You do have the option of resisting.
So I could. I'm thinking like. I propose what I resisted with, and try to think of.
Well, I choose what you resist with. You would resist this with resolve.
I guess it makes sense since it's ghost nature.
Yeah, and for those watching that may not be familiar with Blades of the Dark, so I've given them a consequence, right? So anytime you have a partial success, you're going to have some sort of consequence. The consequence here is that Cornelius is going to receive a level 2 harm, which is how hit points kind of work in Blades of the Dark. What's really neat, though, is that at any of my players, when I give them a consequence, can go, nope, that's not happening. And it doesn't. They completely resist it. The problem is, though, they get 6 stress, which is the main resource of the game. They then get to roll a number of dice based on their attributes to lower that down. So I guess the first question for Cornelius is, how much stress do you have left?
I have 4 stress left.
Ooh, okay.
Level 2, but it's the resource that we kind of need for this to succeed. So level 2 harm, besides like filling up the spot, there's like -1d. Is it like 1 die for all the actions?
You need, if you take 2 level 2 harms, then you suffer the penalty for it.
Yeah, so
I'm going to take it.
If you were to, you can go ahead and take it. All right, so go ahead and add that harm for me.
So
Ghost Scar.
Ghost Scar.
So the cat screeches. Phil screeches. You see the woman shake a little bit in reaction to this, to Phil, and what was a kind of an even blue or green energy that was working its way into Cornelius, streaks of red come into it, and Talos just screams. Phil is running around now, and you see the Eruvian men like scattering, trying to catch Phil.
So I think this might be a good time for a flashback.
Okay.
Because our approach to this was an occult approach, arcane method, and overall we wanted to get Ghost to manifest a protest around this school.
Yep.
And the more I'm thinking about this, the way that knowing that Galen hates everything to do with ghosty stuff, and yet we keep doing this. But knowing that Reagan is aware of that and has been working a little bit with Galen to at least educate him on how it actually works, so that he's not always terrified of like, this is ghosty nonsense, get it away from me. Like he's sitting there just clutching his Spirit Bane charm as usual, but he was prepared for this, and so was the whole crew. So knowing that we were going to try and get ghosts in Crowsfoot to protest this, we had to know what kind of, or we had to have looked into what kind of practitioners the Red Sashes had. And I would think, knowing our luck, we would prepare for the practitioners to get involved, and we would look into how to let them tire themselves out bringing up the ghosts, and we redirect them to do what we want.
All right, so the stated goals we'll let
essentially with the two practitioners bringing up this demon for possession.
Right.
The flashback, I'm seeing us prepare something, whether it's a attunement that Reagan's doing or some kind of tinkering that maybe we're all working together on. I'm seeing us prepare something that says, whenever they send big angry ghost at us, it actually gets redirected to the Veil to bring up or start bringing up this protest of the Red Sashes are doing bad, underhanded things here that their public face isn't showing.
All right, I understand the goal. What's going to be and it's going to be you taking the flashback. Is that correct? And what action are you thinking?
Yes. And that was the thing I wanted to clarify. I'm spending the stress for the flashback. Does it have to be me doing the action in the flashback? Okay. Well, that makes that tricky because the stuff that I just talked about is not anything Galen can do.
What else could Galen do, though?
You could, in this specific circumstances, have arranged for other whispers or other witches.
Okay, that's a good call. So, in that case, he's going to consort with our Crow's friends in Crowsfoot, who also want to see the Red Sashes get taken down a peg. And he's going to say, we're going to do this. Our lives are going to be on the line. All your whispers have to do is kind of watch the Veil, wait for their practitioners to start this, and go, thanks for priming the pump. We're just going to aqueduct the spirit anger over here. Thanks.
All right, so let's go ahead. What's the action? I understand the goal.
That's going to be a consort then, because he's talking with the Crow's Foot.
So that'll be a 2-stressor. As far as paying for that, it'll be a consort. It'll be controlled because of your relationship with the Crows. Because if I remember correctly, it's what, +1 or +2? Yeah, +2. You're friendly with the Crows. I think they're the plus. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's going to be great effect. So it's going to be controlled great because of the relationship you have with the Crows.
Nice. And I'm gonna push on this one just because if this goes well, this goes very well indeed.
All right.
So we're just gonna call that an extra die. Control. Great.
Yes! 6-1-1.
Nice.
That is success.
Scared the hell out of me.
It's the day before, and we see Galen go to the Crow's Nest in Crowsfoot, which is in the center of Crowsfoot. And you have no trouble, obviously, getting in. The Crows know you, Galen. You have a good relationship. In fact, you ask to speak to Lissa, and Lissa's like, of course. And you sit down with Lissa, and she thanks you again for helping her several weeks ago with the whole blackmail thing in the hive. Hopes that you haven't had too much troubles with that. And she says, "What exactly can I do to pay you back?"
And I let her know of our upcoming job and say this benefits both of us. But it's it's a big job. It's going to be something that we need a little help with. And explains basically what I said a minute ago of,
Yep.
We're going to go in. We're probably going to get caught because we're good, but they're more numerous and have better people just through numbers. Pay attention to the veil, and when stuff starts going sour based on what you're seeing, divert their attention, or not even their attention, divert whatever they're bringing up and send it into a big, loud, unavoidable light show of talking about how the school is a front and horrible bad things are happening because of it.
All right, so Alyssa nods her head. She goes, I do have some whispers that we can help with. She goes, we'll be there. We'll be there. So we cut back. We cut back to where we are now. We're seeing this happen. Poor Cornelius has just scarred by the in-process possession that's happening. And the camera cuts back out to the outside of the academy. And surrounding the academy, there's people walking along the streets of Doskvol. It's night, as it always is in Doskvol. But at the time that this is happening, suddenly the camera notices that some people stop walking. And they walk up to the walls of the academy and are putting their hands on the walls of the academy. And we're now seeing that same green energy coming from them and going into the walls of the academy. Cut back to Cornelius. Cornelius, the red energy that was coming at you is now turned back to green as she's starting to gain control. We see the monk's hand on hers. We see the green energy, coming from his hand into her mask, coming down her arm onto Cornelius. Suddenly, the monk pulls back his hood, and you just see him turn his head up, and he opens up his mouth, and just spirits start leaving his mouth and just spewing into the air, and you're seeing forms, and you're seeing forms of, some of it is you see a woman with a face, and she's screaming, and then like some sort of horn something, and the ceiling, the room is starting to fill as this thing is going, and he is just like as this stuff is spewing out from it. Phil is like, I'm good, I'm out. So the cat runs under, like there's a table, like a drawer table. He runs under there and hides immediately. Whatever's happening, this monk has no control over what's happening right now. The Aruvian men have all gotten themselves up against the wall, and they're trying to cover their faces, trying not to see. You're watching this all happen, Elias. As the monk is doing this, his hand comes off of the woman. She takes her hands off of Cornelius, breaking the connection there, and she's looking up, and you can just tell by her body language how disconcerted and fearful she is. The monk has no control. In fact, he's fallen to his knees at this point.
Okay, I guess this is the cue. So let's see, what can we do? So I think that was the first thing, once she releases her hold of me, Dallas would, in pain, still, grumbling now, not screaming, just falls over from the chair in the front, because I guess we're not tied, we were just held by force there, and will just fall from the chair. And I'm thinking to Yeah, let's unleash everything.
Let's do what?
It's. Yeah, I think we need to just get out of here.
Yeah, we have
we need to,
accomplished
like,
the goal with the ghost show. It's go time.
Yeah, and you guys can see the spirits kind of going into there's very crude vents at the top of the room. You see some of them going into the vents there. Some of them are going to the doorways and working their way through the doorways. Some of them are not leaving the room.
I'm thinking just...
What are we doing? Come on, I need something.
I think we just run. Like we have our out through the side door. We know Elias has been scoping out the place and has been watching our backs and hopefully getting the escape hatch ready. I think we just go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of want to misdirect a lot of these patrons in this room by starting a fire.
You know what? Room. I'm thinking something different. I know that O is watching over us, so we need to make the distraction, and I will hand.
I think
Elias...
I don't think you know O is there, but you have faith in O that he wouldn't not be there. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would like to share with... did I see the... Oh, well, I saw nothing. I was thinking to share a smoke bomb with him, to use it as it's basically not just hard to see through, but it's like a pepper spray if you receive it. So if he throws it like, we will need to probably go through the room where that was full with people. And that if we throw a smoke bomb there, maybe it would help us. So I would like to...
So I would allow that as a flashback, a 1 stress flashback, that you can share that equipment with Elias. And then Elias, you can go ahead and take that smoke bomb as part of your equipment and add it to your load.
Okay.
So just take 1 stress for me, Boston.
Yeah, and I will add it to the loadout. It's the bandolier thing.
No, you don't add it to
I don't know if you want to...
Well, you don't add it to your loadout. It's going to be added to Elias's.
Yeah,
You're just giving it to him before you guys even walk in, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say if you want to save that stress, I've got a lantern in my pouch in that other room that's right next to all those drapes and there's a lot of flammable shit in that room. So I would suggest just hold on to that stress. I don't know if that's too metagaming, and I apologize if it is, but
no.
Okay, then go ahead and we can use the. I will find a way to use the.
So go ahead and bring out the lantern.
Yeah, I'm kind of behind everybody watching my poor cat get messed up, and I'm gonna reach down in my bag. I've got that lantern. I'm gonna add it to my loadout, and then I'm gonna dump the oil out of this lantern onto those curtains up along that wall, and I'm gonna spark it up.
All right. I do. I understand the goal. I don't know the action.
Tinker. I'm going to tinker with it. I think that's the best bet there.
With Tinker, it'll be standard limited.
Standard limited.
Like wrecking is more destruction, I guess. But I guess you have shitty stats in that.
I have really shitty stats in that. If I can figure out a way to hunt this out, maybe the smoke bomb is the better way then, huh? Because I can.
Well, I have a fire oil if you want to light shit on fire. I mean,
I really like that idea.
So there's a couple possibilities. Yeah. One, Elias, you can go ahead and within this chaos, you can make your presence known, right? So that's an option, and we would just need some sort of action for Cornelius to get you this fire oil. So Cornelius can add it to his load, and can get then some sort of action to basically do this transfer, and we can just simplify all of this without taking any stress.
Yeah, if that's like our cue to run, then
right.
We'll pass O in the hallway. One of us, this is very important to me. One of us needs to grab Phil before we set a building on fire.
Yeah,
I'm invested in her, and Reagan will take that
Yeah. So what action would be required to get that?
This would be something for either Cornelius or Elias. You tell me what action would allow you. Because really, the stated goal is, basically, let's get this oil from Cornelius to Elias, and let's set, to quote, shit on fire. So who's taking the action? And quite frankly, Talos could be the one that sets shit on fire. It doesn't necessarily have to be Elias. Elias could assist.
So, okay, so I could be like, okay, guys, we gotta run, and I will be shouting, Elias, we need to create a distraction. Do you have a place? And assumingly that he shows me, I just shout this out there. Let's play this out.
All right.
I don't know if he's there.
So what's your action, Cornelius?
I would like to find a place and wreck it and light it on fire myself with using the fire oil.
Yep.
Which just erupts in searing flame up onto contact with air. Sounds legit.
Yep, so add that to your inventory. This is going to be a wreck, I assume? Did you mention?
Yes.
All right, so this will be, let's do Desperate Great Effect.
And
I can assist by maybe making eye contact with him and maybe kind of signaling him, hey, right there, throw it over.
Yep. Opening the door wide open for him. Maybe tearing a tapestry down into the middle of the room. All kinds of ways you can assist. So take one stress. And Cornelius, you can use that for effect, position, or die.
So we are Desperate Great, right, already?
Correct.
So I will get an extra die from this one.
All right.
And I will get a second one for stressing myself. I don't know what's the name of the action, but it's for 2 stress.
Pushing?
Pushing, yes. I will push
right.
myself. So that should be 1 die from O, 1 die from pushing, Desperate Grey, and I have 1 in wreck. So let's fire in the hole. Why?
So a 3, a 1, and a 2. Elias pulls the curtain, pulls one of the tapestry down, puts it into the center of the room. Cornelius, you stand up, pull this fire oil from your bandolier. You go to throw it into the room, and unfortunately, it first contacts Elias. So it hits Elias, and it breaks on Elias as it comes down, and fails to hit the tapestry itself. So we have a flame. It's isolated on its own on the floor where this fire oil is going. It's not catching anything except Elias. So Elias, your entire left side is now on fire. So that's going to be a level 2 harm burn unless you want to resist.
I guess it's eye for an eye for that ghost scar.
Yeah, you owe him one.
Yeah. I'm looking at you. I got it. No worries. We're even now. I'm going to take that harm because I have 1 stress left.
All right, so go ahead and take a level 2 harm. Severe burn is the name of the harm.
Severe burn.
You are on fire.
All right. When this happens, obviously initial response is, oh shit. I'm taking this red sash garb off, knowing I'm physically on fire. Taking this off, I'm not going to stop, drop, and roll. I'm throwing these on fire, burning clothes, uniform, into the original pile that was supposed to be the source of the ignition.
Yeah. So it's burning you right now, Elias. You feel it on your skin. You tear off this robe, this Arubian servant's robe. You tear it off. You throw it down into the middle of the tapestry. That tapestry is now starting to catch on fire. The entrance you had that you had come in through, right, where they didn't see you come in through, that led back into the back of the academy, that's now blocked off by the fire oil that was thrown. So there's now, the bottom of that door has started on fire. So essentially the situation is, shirtless Elias is standing there with severe burns on his shoulder. He has started a bonfire in the center of this back room. In the main room, we still have our monk spewing ghosts into the academy. The woman is disoriented, trying to take her mask off, and she seems to be having trouble trying to take the mask off desperately. Some of the Eruvian men, some of the guards, the Red Sashes guards, they're working their way to the door into the training hall right now. Mylera is ordering them to like put out the fire. None of them are listening to her.
Yeah, we just need to run.
Galen's gonna jump up. Yeah, Galen's gonna jump up, run into the through the door that is into the training hall. Just yell, "Fire! Mylera's in trouble," and just keep going.
Okay, all right.
Like wait for everybody else to follow.
Yeah, and we will run and just sing "The Roof Is on Fire," right?
Yeah, Reagan's gonna grab Phil, run out into the room, take a quick look around just to make sure that Elias didn't leave anything, pick up his trench coat and messenger bag. And I'm just gonna pack horse my way.
All right, so here is our situation. This is the big. You guys have worked your way now. You've got Elias's clothes. Did you pick up Elias's knife that has the Umbral Means insignia on it?
I don't have any of those anymore.
I left that. It's gonna melt in the fire. It'll be fine.
Oh, that's so funny.
I donated the rest of those to the place in our Goodwill, so we don't have.
You guys are in this. You guys are in the training room. There's fire going on. There's confusion and happening right now. You've got Phil. Elias is burned, holding his arm. Cornelius has like black soot in the shape of this woman's hand on his face. Not real clear whether that's going to wash off or not. There, you have a mix of Red Sashes, students, pure chaos in this hall, all working their way around, all trying to get out the door, and it is now jammed with just people, right? Just panicking in a theater on fire, trying to go through here. I think we need a group roll, and I need to know who's going to lead the action. And the action is going to be to get the hell out of here before you die.
So how does that work? Like one leads and we can chime in?
So one of you leads. You say I'm gonna be the leader, and you pick what the action is gonna be. Right? I'll give you a position and an effect, but all four of you roll it. And whoever any failures, give one stress to the leader.
Yeah.
But you take the best die of all the dice rolled among the four.
So I think since we're all, aside from I believe Galen, we're all in like the trainee, except Galen and Elias, but like Elias is shirtless, and that fits with a training regimen. I think maybe we like sort of prowl and like mingle our way through the crowd. That would be my suggestion.
Yeah, I would agree. Everyone else is actually in chaos. We're just making it look like we're in chaos while we're calmly looking for a window to jump out of or climb out of, or a door that no one else is currently going for. We know the fire is there, but we're making it sound like it's a lot bigger than it is.
All right, so we've got a desperate standard prowl. My recommendation is the leader should be the one that has the most stress to give.
It's not me.
I got two.
I've got two.
Oh God!
Can anybody beat two?
I think most of us have.
Yeah.
Where's Cornelius?
A two. Am I?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, but you're
okay.
good.
And just to be clear, it's not going to change anything, right? Whoever the leader is doesn't change the result at all. It's just who's going to take, for every failure, who's going to take that one stress.
Can
I'm
you still be
process?
successful if you stress out?
I'm sorry?
Can you still be successful if you stress out? If
Yeah,
you
the
take
result
on
of
the
the roll
extra?
is the result of the roll.
I'm so gung-ho about getting Reagan the trauma, I kind of want to take it.
Then do it.
I was going to say, you and I are probably the two lightest, being slender people in this. It'd be easy to carry us out if we get knocked out.
Unless we kind of feel like we need to do an additional like magic thing.
like Cornelius would take the lead if we would sway our way out, because I would be like Iruvian, like let me through. I need to get the leaders. They will know what to do, and try to like target it this way. Maybe
The problem with that is though, I feel like a lot of us have prowl, at least a pip in it.
Yeah,
I feel like there's a few of us who don't have sway.
it's true.
Yeah.
That's the That's
But
why.
if the intended result of this is to get us away from this place and we meet that goal, then if someone stresses out, then we're at least away.
Since
So
it's a group
I'm
goal, can we assist?
Well, no, all of you are assisting. This is a group action.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to roll
Oh,
the same
okay.
the same attribute, and we're going to take the highest die of the 4 of you. So your
So-
chances
so-
of a 6 are
yeah.
pretty good. The problem
Yeah.
is that if any of the 4 of you fail, the leader is going to take 1 stress for every fail. And remember,
So
it's
my
gonna-
thought on this. Oh,
Go ahead. Nope.
I was going to say the Elias has been here and getting the lay of the land for 24 hours now. If there's anybody that knows the way out of this place, it's probably going to be Elias.
I can see that. All right, so let's have Elias lead. And the action we decided was prowl.
Yeah.
So I want to start with the leader. So what is the leader roll?
This is going to be risky.
This is going to be desperate
Desperate.
standard, and only the leader is going to get the XP.
Okay, so I roll first, and everybody's going to roll after. Is that
Correct.
right?
I want to see you roll first. All right, so we know it's going to succeed. So that's good. We're going to have at least a partial success. Galen, let me see your prowl.
Alrighty.
All right, that's 1 stress on Elias.
Getting intense
Cornelius?
already. I don't have to click anything, right? It doesn't matter, just the roll.
That's 2 stress on Elias. Reagan?
With a blank hand on my face, it's not easy.
There's our
six.
Don't worry about
it. All right. So, Elias, you see the jam up front with just the bodies going there. You, as when you're doing all of your investigating, you know well that they're in the rest areas off to the side. That there's the wall itself is very weak. In fact, you kind of planned that out as a potential escape route as part of you scouting and checking out the whole thing. So Cornelius and Reagan and Galen start heading towards the front door into the crowd. You immediately grab their attention and you point them that way. So you guys head over to this rest area, open it up. It smells like a restroom. There's basically, benches with holes in them, with holes into the ground, and everybody's like, "What the hell are you doing?" And you, Elias, you kick once, you kick twice, you kick a third time, and the wall, a portion of the wall collapses out into the courtyard itself. All 4 of you pour yourself through that, and the camera watches the 4 of you one at a time go through the hole. The last thing we see is Elias reaching in, grabbing a little trinket that fell out of his pocket, and his hand comes back out again. As you guys as the camera then shows the outside, you see the whispers from the crows hired still on the wall, and we're seeing now a mix of just ghosts spiring around this huge academy, and we're also starting to see red flickerings coming from some of the windows as the building itself gets on fire. You guys work your way out through the front. Reagan immediately yells to the other whispers, "We're good!" Yeah. Wrap it up! And you guys head out. So the goal was to disrupt the Red Sash's school, and I think you did that. So well done. Well done. All right, let's move over. Let's talk about Downtime.
How much stress did I take on that? I took 2, right? Because the 2 failed.
You ended up
Yes.
taking 2. Yeah. Does that fill you out?
Yeah.
All right, so you actually were carried out.
Yeah.
I think it was like you dropped unconscious after you went through the door, and I was like, Galen, help me out. And we just brought you out and tried to get you in.
All right, so the first thing that we need to do, Elias, is let's bring up your sheet. And the first thing that we need to do... there you are. Go ahead and clear that stress out. Give yourself 1 trauma. And which one are you going to take?
It's not letting me click trauma.
You have to choose your trauma. So which of those 8 traumas are you going to take? Cold, haunted, obsessed, paranoid, reckless, soft, unstable, or vicious?
With our history, I think reckless is pretty spot on with my personality in this.
All right, let's go ahead and take reckless.
All right.
Let's go to payoff.
I got to look at what the hell that does to me.
All right, so we'll start off with reputation. +2 rep. Who's going to? Who's got the sheet for me?
I can pull it up.
Right. So the first thing I guess we need to decide is which of these, which turf are you going to take? Are you going to take the top one or the bottom one?
I think we wanted to go for the secret pathways, right? Didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead and give yourself that turf.
There we go.
There we go. All right. So you guys now officially have your first turf, which helps with rep. You only need 2 rep to go up. All right, so you get +2 rep per score, so by default 2. +1 per higher tier of the target. So our target was the red sashes. The red sashes, where's my book?
I'm assuming they're not 0.
They are not 0. So let's take a look here. Red sashes. Red sashes are tier 2, so they're 2 above you. So that's 4 rep.
So the two with the turf gets us to where we were. So
yes.
If we want to level up, do we lose that rep or do we add it in?
So you got 2 in the bank, right? We'll talk about leveling up in a second. But just remember that you have 2 more than showing on your sheet. For coin, big score, 8 coin. So how do we want to distribute that? We've got 1 coin that can go into the Umbral Means. That leaves 7. Do you guys have room for? Who has room for the other 7?
I've got room for 3.
Okay,
I
so
can room for 2. 4.
I have room for 2.
Okay, so that'll take care of 6. That takes care of 7. Cornelius, mark yourself for 1, and that'll be our 8th. Got it?
Yeah.
All right, so that takes care of the payoff. Let's look at entanglements. Well, first we got to do heat. Do I not have heat on here? There's heat. All right. +4 heat, please, for loud and chaotic. Actually, wild.
Yeah.
I want +6 heat. You just burned down
That's pretty
probably the largest building in Crow's Foot. So that'll be 6 heat total for that. Okay. Now we're going to do entanglements. Our total heat is 7.
Yes.
All right, so that's going to have us roll on that bottom. Who wants to roll?
And we do get to roll 2 on this one.
I'll roll. Why not?
I'll take it.
So 2d6, and then you guys get to choose which one you want, right? Because of the special ability of the Umbral Means. All right,
6
so
and a 1.
one of you can be arrested and go to prison, or one of you can, or we can do flipped or interrogation.
What is flipped?
So let's see here. Let me go to
Oh, it's
entanglement.
one of our contacts, patron, client, or group is loyal to another gang now. We are 6 heat. So it's either arrest or filter interrogation.
Okay, flipped is one of the PC's rivals, arranges for one of your contacts, patrons, or clients, your group of customers to switch allegiance. Due to the heat on you, they're loyal to another faction now. So what I'll do is I will flip one of your contacts, or I also can do interrogation, which is one of you will be interrogated. So that'll be my decision. What I need to know is, are we going to have somebody arrested and go to prison, or are we going to do flipped or interrogate? Because you have your choice.
So,
Arrest only requires
here.
1 coin instead of 3 like the others.
Wanted level 1. So we...
Oh, that's true.
Now you pay them off with coin equal to your wanted level plus 3.
Oh, plus 3? I didn't see that on here. Okay.
Or serve out the time, and there's things that can happen.
Yep.
So I almost say let's go for the arrest here, because we can A, pay them off, and B, we have our kind of bubbling pot on the back burner of we want some kind of contact in the prison.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Well,
I like
so
it.
if you choose arrest, you guys have a choice. You can pay them off with coin equal to your wanted level plus 3, so that'd be 3 coin, because you have 0 wanted level, right? Or you can hand someone over for arrest, and that will clear your heat completely. Or you can try to evade capture.
Oh, evade the capture is basically a resist, so it's like...
No, we're basically going to have a scene where the blue coats come to arrest one of you, and it's going to be just basically a mini scene, which could go really well or horribly wrong.
Yeah, I think we pay them off, but we can story-wise work that into, in paying them off, we also pass some information to get more work on the contact into the prison.
Yeah, and it fits your relationship with the blue coats, right? With Mickey, with Nick,
Yeah.
stuff like that. All right, so let's go ahead and drop 3 coins. You guys drop it from wherever you want to drop it, and that avoids any of you going to prison.
Oh, I can drop 2, just because.
Okay, that's 2 dropped from Reagan. Who wants to drop the 3rd?
I got it.
All right,
Okay.
great. Who is the most likely one to get arrested, do we think, in this scenario?
I'm unconscious.
I genuinely think that if anyone was going to be arrested for weird ghost shit, it's Mickey coming to Reagan.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So, luckily, you had enough coin for Reagan to get out of that. All right, so that takes care of heat, takes care of entanglements, it takes care of that. So now let's talk about leveling up. Because right now, you guys have enough rep to move up in tier. So let's look at this will be the first time I've done this with any of my groups. All right. See page 44. To move up the ladder and develop your crew, you need rep. Rep is a measure of renown. When you accrue enough rep, the other factions take you more seriously and you attract the support needed to help you grow. When you complete a score, blah, 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 blah. You need 12 rep to fill the rep tracker. When you fill the tracker, do one of the following. If your hold is weak, which it is not, it becomes strong, and you reset your rep score, but you already have a strong hold. If your hold is strong, you can pay to increase your crew tier by 1. This costs coin equal to the new tier times 8. So it will cost you 8 coin to go to tier 1. Do we have 8 coin?
So we have 4 in the stash. I have 1 in my pocket.
That's 5.
I
have 4 in my pocket, so I can ditch 2 for that.
All right, that's 6, 7. Who wants to pay the 8th coin?
I can.
Galen?
Got it.
Congratulations.
Okay. That puts me on 0.
You guys are now tier 1 crew. Look at the Umbral Means. That's one way to finish out season 1. All right, let's talk quickly about.
And then we have the.
Go ahead.
Then we have the 2 rep in the bank. Does that
Correct.
carry
Go ahead
over?
and add.
Or...
Yep. Go ahead and add those 2 rep.
Yeah.
Sweet.
All right.
Nice.
Let's look at crew XP. Did you execute a successful espionage, sabotage, or theft operation? You did. Let's go ahead and take that XP.
All of
Let's
the
spend
That
it.
fills out. Yeah.
So let's go to upgrades. Right now you have Hidden Lair, Quarters, Training Insight, Training Prowess. Who's got the sheet right now? Who wants to let you do? Right
Joe, I think. Yeah.
Joe, can you let everybody know what they possibly could choose for the new crew upgrade?
So let me just double check because it has what we have on here, so I'm just pulling it up. Shadows. So.
There's like elite. If you put add crew upgrade, you can then get it from the list.
Oh yeah.
Yep, just click the plus.
Yeah.
And you guys will be SH.
So. Yeah, oh boy, we have a lot of stuff we can get, huh?
I think we're limited on shadows, the S, and then
And
outside
the
that.
general
Yeah.
ones in the end.
Yeah. So we can take another special ability. The ones we don't have is Everyone Steals for an extra action rating on Prowl, Finesse, and Tinker. We have Ghost Echoes that lets everyone see into the veil for the streets and for the doors, all that fun stuff. Yeah. We can take pack rats. We have a bunch of stolen stuff. When we acquire an asset, we can take an extra dice. We can take a patron. When we advance our tier, it costs half the coin than it normally would. We have second story. When we execute a clandestine infiltration, we get +1 to the engagement roll. We have synchronized. When you perform a group action, you may count multiple 6s to get us up to a critical.
Nice.
And we have veteran, which lets us pick a extra move from any of the other playbooks. There's also a lot of like utility stuff. So where we've got things like we were talking about boats, we were talking about getting workshops. We could fill out all of our trainings. Those are also all options.
That sounds good, crew.
I like the second story. When you execute clandestine infiltration, you get +1 for the engagement, just for how much the engagement worked for us so far.
Having a better
personally
engagement roll is always a good thing.
I like everyone steals, buffing our stats.
Yeah, I like everyone steals for the just utility to having dice for all the things we're doing. I mean, Prowl, Finesse, and Tinker, that's just my jam.
Yeah, that helps all of us really, really well.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking like,
I
the
think
engagement, did we had like 2 desperate engagements or 3? I don't know. Like,
But that makes it more fun. I almost don't want to make our engagements better.
I also like Ghost Echoes too, because some of us are deathly afraid of ghosts.
So now all of you can see it.
Now we can all see it and just get used to it.
well, story-wise, Ghost Echoes makes just so much sense for anyone.
Right. Yeah.
Stat-wise, I like everyone steals. It's just so useful. But
Yeah.
Ghost Echoes, I love it for the story. I think.
Galen,
Like,
what do we
to-
like, Galen? Do we like everybody steals or do we like echoes?
Or do you want to roll a
I
dice?
like everybody steals. I feel like Ghost Echoes, at least from Galen's point of view, I feel like that's one
You're not quite
that
there
we
yet.
need to earn a bit more.
Yeah, I really like Ghost Echoes, but I like the kind of narrative of getting everyone like at least like in a better like relationship with Vale. That would be my pitch.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do everybody steals.
Mm.
So let's add that.
Is it just flat +1 to those papes, or we have to remember it once we are rolling?
No, let me take a quick look here.
And it's or, so you pick one of the three and add up plus.
Yeah, so you get to pick one.
Yeah, that would be broken to get all three, I guess. Like GG2.
We can.
Did you
Too
add
soon.
Too soon.
Oh, there we go. Sorry, I found out I was in a different one. Everybody steals. Add.
And I would go for Prowl. I like Finesse more, but Prowl based on how we fared at with the group action. And we were prowling out of the mess.
That didn't add it for reasons.
Do you have it popped out?
I don't think I did.
No, Greg,
I
wouldn't let me-
see. I see what I had open. Yeah, there we go. Let me just go back and do that. So everyone steals.
Cool.
There we go.
I still can't see it. That's so weird.
It's under abilities. You are under upgrades.
Ah, thank you. There it is. Okay. Each PC may add. Okay, so Elias, you're going to add +1 to what? Prowl, Finesse, or Tinker?
We're gonna do Prowl.
All right, and go ahead and add it. Galen?
I think we're going to go with Finesse.
All right. Talus?
I need Finesse. I will go as well.
And Reagan?
I'm gonna take Finesse because it gives me a 2 in every rating.
Very nice. Very nice. The other thing we need to do is whoever's got the sheet, you need to change your hold from strong to weak. So now you're tier 1.
Strong to weak.
All right, so let's keep going. So clear out the crew XP. If you just click on crew XP, there you go.
Yeah.
All right, contend with a challenge above your current station. That's an XP. Bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one. No question. That's another XP. Express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew. I don't know.
We're doing more messing around with the ghosts when we have this kind of internal conflict in the middle of the crew of some of us are very ghosty and trying to help the other ones get more ghosty, and the other one's like kicking and screaming while being dragged along. I don't know if that would work on that level.
It doesn't help your reputation is untraceable, so I don't think we did a good job there.
Well, the reputation was for the Blue Miners or whatever was that fake name.
Yeah, the Blue Waters.
The Blue Waters.
Nobody heard
Waters.
And we picked up all of
that's
Chot's
true.
keys,
That's
so.
right. You guys can take an XP. All right, I'm good. All right, so now let's go to individual XP. Let's talk. Let's start with my Whisper. All right, so my Whisper. Address a challenge with knowledge or arcane power. That's an XP for you. Where are you going to put it?
I'm gonna keep working at a playbook.
On your abilities, okay. Make a desperate action roll. Did you mark all those?
I didn't actually take a desperate.
Express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background.
Hold on, let me double check. I know I got one of them for finagling Reagan to be arrested because one of her beliefs is about the blue coats being able to be bought.
I like it. Yep, go ahead and take an XP.
And
where's that going to go?
Yep, still working on the playbook.
Excellent.
I've got some ideas.
All right, did you struggle with issues from your vice or traumas?
I was thinking about this going in, but kind of using ghosts in this way. It all worked out. So again, it's one of those things where like it could have broken bad, but it didn't end up going bad.
But I think this is. I mean, with your vice being, trying to essentially be a ghost therapist, and with kindness. I mean, this was you just using. So
exactly.
I think that's definitely a struggle.
Okay.
So I'll give you an XP for that.
Okay.
You're keeping it there. Okay, great. So that takes care of Reagan. Let's go to my spider. Address a challenge with calculation or conspiracy?
I mean, we gave them a fake set of papers covered up by another fake set of papers, and then all the while let them catch us to have our other friends actually do the hard work. So I'd say yeah.
Yeah, and I would argue that I'm going to give you 2 XP because I also think you did conspiracy by bringing in the crows and contacting Alyssa and getting those others there. So you get 2 XP for that. Where's it going?
That's going straight in the playbook.
Nice. All right. Did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage? Or no? Did you mark all your desperate rolls?
I did. I only had the one in where was it? It was in consort.
Got it. All right. And then
in sway. Sorry.
How about beliefs, drives, heritage, or background?
So, and it was a minor thing, but we're in Crow's Foot, and I think it's a sign of growth that Galen was actually bringing in the crows to be like, I don't like ghosty stuff, so I'm not going to touch it, but I'm going to have other people do it. And he was definitely holding his spirit bane charm the whole time, all just right. Like, I hope this doesn't kill us.
I'll let you do. Yep, I like it. Mark it. And then struggled with issues from your vice or traumas?
No, there was no, well, I mean, other than our usual mummery, there was no performance art to this. So
all right,
no traumas.
You already have the connected ability for spiders, and you have filled out that playbook. So let's clear that playbook out. And what new ability is Galen going to take?
Let's see. I was looking over these, and I think what we're going for here. I'm kind of flipping a coin between either calculated, because I can give myself or another crew member an extra downtime action, or foresight, which lets me 2 times per a score assist a teammate without paying stress. Like, both of those seem really good.
What do we want our spider to do?
I mean, both of them assist the crew, which is your bag. I almost feel like my recommendation would be, because you are so responsible for clearing our heat, and you take that on yourself every time. I feel like that would be an avenue to go.
Yeah, do the calculating, just knowing that extra action is going to be heat clearing.
All right, let's go ahead and add
good
it.
To me. Cool. There's the add button. Oh, gotta scroll down.
Very nice. Congratulations, Galen. All right, let's go to my hound.
Your knocked out hound.
All right. My reckless hound.
Reckless, yes.
All right, so did you address a challenge with tracking or violence?
Yeah.
I think you did. So where are you going to put that XP?
In my playbook.
All right. Did you make it? You marked all your desperate actions?
I did, yes.
All right. Did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background?
No, I did not.
All right. Did you struggle with issues from your vice or traumas?
I got a burned arm at the very end that caused this reckless trauma. Would that be cause for?
Yeah, I'll give you an XP for that. Where do you want to put it?
In my playbook.
Oh my God, my hound is leveling up. What's my hound going to pick up?
Oh, I'm so excited for this. Since Phil came onto the scene, Ghost Hunter, my hunting pet, is imbued with spirit energy. Ooh. We have a spirit cat. It gains potency when tracking or fighting the supernatural, and gains an arcane ability: Ghost Form, Mind Link, or Arrow Swift.
Yes.
All right, go ahead and grab it and clear out your XP on abilities.
Arcane Phil.
Now we have a mascot.
Yeah, it's not letting me add my abilities, or even when I was in the loadout. So I'll just take a note and figure out that stuff after.
You got Underhound. You're choosing
Ghost
Hunter.
Ghost Hunter, yeah. And I can do that twice to give him an extra ability out of those 3 options.
You might say she's been filled with arcane power.
Yes.
All right. You got it, my friend. And I cleared
Those
out.
ghost streets.
I cleared it out. All right. Who's left? My leech, right?
Yeah.
Poor leech. Did you adjust a challenge with technical skill or mayhem?
Well, I burned off an arm.
I realized on
for,
my sheet I
for-
spelled mayhem wrong on my little graphic.
May-
Did you do it with mayhem or with mayhem?
Mayhem. I did
Okay,
with
you
Mayhem.
definitely did it with mayhem. So that's where are you gonna put that XP?
Playbook. Let's start leveling that up.
All right. Did you marked all your desperates?
Yeah, that was that throwing of that oil.
Yeah.
So that was
Did you
one
express your
throwing.
beliefs, drives, heritage, or background?
Yes, heritage. Ruvian heritage. I use that to for our, let's say, subterfuge.
Yeah. Well, I think you did it twice. So you did it during the assist.
Mm-hmm.
When Galen was trying to convince them that you were not here to sabotage, you were here to join them. And then you did it again during the escape, so that's 2 XP.
Ah, true.
And did you struggle with issues from your Vicer traumas?
Like I'm haunted, and then I was being possessed, and I have black hand on my face. Basically, that will.
So I don't
that will
know.
take up.
I think all of you might have visibility to his sheet. If you don't, I'd like you to go ahead and open up his sheet, and I want you to see what he marked for his farm.
I can't see it.
You can't see it. It says Ghost Scar, and in parentheses, Nick's fault.
That's hilarious.
All right, so that's
Knowing that, I'm going to change mine real quick.
Okay, good.
Wonder what you're gonna write there.
All right, so now we've got downtime activities. I'm going to go counterclockwise based off of what we can see on the stream. So I'd like to start off with you, Nick. What do you want to do for your first downtime activity?
I want to try to finish my. Well, I guess my stress is gone, so I don't need to do my vices, right? Because I took my
Right.
harm or my trauma. So I'm going to try to fill out my my clock on the rifle modification.
All right, so I'll open that up real quick.
I have 1 slot left on it.
Let's see, rifle modification. Okay. And what are we gonna? We're doing. What action are we gonna use?
It was Tinker.
Okay, let's go ahead and roll Tinker. That fills that baby up. So I will go ahead and fill it up for you. And then what I will do, Elias, is I'm going to create a special rifle for you as a potential thing for you to choose. That'll be light instead. It'll just be 1 instead of the 2 that the normal rifle has.
Fantastic.
But in the meantime, and we can do this offline. I need a name for this new rifle.
All right.
All right, so that's what I'll name this. Congratulations on that. Galen, what is your first downtime activity?
I mean, I gotta clear our heat. Gotta go glad hand at the pubs and tell the story of how it was totally not the Umbral Means and this new tiny gang that got too big for their britches, the Blue Waters, that were going straight for the Red Sashes problems.
All right, so we are going to attempt to. Let's see, where is it out here? Fire acid, reduce heat. So, what action? You're going to use consort?
All the time.
All right, let's do our consort roll.
Alrighty.
All right, at a 4, you're going to be -2 heat. Plus your ability makes it -3, right?
Yep.
Very, very nice.
Yes.
All right.
However, that number goes down. Let's see. Because this is not a number; it's a level of heat, etc. And that's a different chart that I'm pulling up.
Yeah, you bring up the Umbral Means and just take whatever your heat is, just reduce it by 2.
Yep.
All right. How about for you, Cornelius?
So I will indulge in vice, and to get that stress off. So if I remember correctly, last time I was indulging by going closer to the border, to the energy barrier, and try to get closer to some of the ghosts. So I think.
But you had to, didn't. I thought we had. you lost your thing, right? So you had to acquire an asset.
Yeah.
So
how did we do that?
So first you acquired the asset.
We had a temporary line on a hull.
Right. And that's gone, right? Because it's only when you do that acquire asset, it's only a one-time use. I think one of the things you should consider is a long-term project to acquire a new vice dealer.
Yeah. Okay. Because that was one time I didn't realize.
Right.
Yeah. So let's do the project.
All right. So give me just a second, and I will create a new clock for you. This is going to be Talos's new vice dealer. So
or do we have? There is new purveyor with the 2 ticks. Maybe that was it. The project from last time.
Oh, maybe. Let's see.
I think so.
Acquire mirror. Oh, new purveyor. Yeah, you've already got a clock going. You've already started this.
So I continue with this one. That makes sense.
So no.
Sorry.
No, that's not how it works.
Yeah, I accidentally clicked it.
Yep.
There was.
I got you.
Can I? Yeah. No.
All right. So how do you want to acquire this? So you're going to pick an action and roll for it. This is going to be a long-term project.
I think I will continue. Okay. Oh, that was the last time when I will need to, because my vice is faith, and it was like the faith in the ghosts. That was the story behind it. So I think I will need to get a closer connection with the ghosts, and I'm thinking going to Dragon, maybe. Trying to get this connection with her friend in, and maybe trying to see what the ghosts are about.
What's her name? Your ghost's name, Reagan? Lustria?
Reagan.
Nyrix. Yeah.
Nyrix.
Yeah.
Maybe have Nyrix be your purveyor? I like that idea. So what action are we going to use to try to get Nyrix to be your new purveyor?
I would say sway.
Great. Let's roll sway.
Yeah, let's do that.
That feels right for them.
I don't care about position effect, right?
Nope.
I just roll it.
All right, 2 segments. You have yourself a new purveyor.
Wow.
All right, so we'll add that as the purveyor, but now for your second action, you'll be able to use Nyrix to indulge your vice, which is pretty darn cool. So we'll come back around on the second downtime. Reagan, what is your first downtime activity?
Yeah, my first one is going to be knocking out my long-term project for my ritual.
Right. This is the acquire mirror? No.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Acquire mirror. Okay. And what action?
So I believe when we last left, it was I had a few lines to be able to get to this mirror. It's I feel like it's almost like navigating the way through Night Market, because there's a lot of like weird off shops and like weird architecture hiding like the most secretive stores. So I feel like it's going to be a survey.
Great, let's do a survey.
Position stuff doesn't matter.
Very nice. All right, so we will we'll spec out. We'll name that mirror. I'll add it as a new object for you to bring, and a new ritual for you to have. That's fantastic. Elias, what is your second?
I'm going to go ahead and train in Resolve.
Great. And just you only get 1 XP for that, right? Because it doesn't. None of your other upgrades, crew upgrades, give you 2. Do that?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So,
and I figure story-wise, I've got my cat that I finally introduced to the world, and was able to teach him Arcane, or maybe he picked up this ghost form that he's in from Reagan, just kind of being in the hideout. And so I'm going to start learning and training with him to gain this in a tune.
Phil is a her, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. I misgendered. I'm so sorry.
All right, so so that brings you to 4 out of 6 for your resolve. Is that right?
Yeah.
Very nice. Galen, oh, you don't need to roll, brother.
Oh, gotcha. So I just.
train. You just mark it. Just mark the XP.
But I rolled a 6. Give me
I
a
know you
second.
did.
Okay, we're good.
Good for you. Galen.
You want a cookie?
We're gonna keep reducing that heat.
Okay. Same way, consort.
Yes, indeed. Roll that consort.
All right, so the 3 allows you to reduce another heat plus 1, though, again, right? So it's 2? Is that how your ability works, or is it just once per downtime?
So, no, it's just whenever you roll.
Nice. So that reduces you by 2 heat. So where does that leave
Yep. So
Umbral Means
we
now?
are down to 2 heat total.
Very nice.
Well done.
Cornelius, you want to indulge some vice?
We're gonna visit Nerix and try to understand where what's his position, where is he coming from, what are your intentions?
So I assume we're going to probably use resolve.
They're a terrible pattern for this.
Yes.
All right, let's go ahead and roll resolve.
So take click on oh damn it! Now
What
I
was
clicked
there we
wrongly.
go. So go down, yeah. So hit stress. No, not hit stress, sorry. I just did that for you. Hit resolve.
Yeah, I did the same.
Yep.
So let's see. Oh, damn. Well, that's 1.
All right.
I guess
Reagan,
we're
what's
on
your
a
second
roll.
action?
I was thinking about also reducing heat, but in an extremely different way. Since we used a lot of ghost stuff, I'm gonna speak to them, kind of keep that agreement that they were very interested in how it turned out, and kind of taking a cue from Galen, kind of impress the idea of the Blue Waters being
Okay.
being a thing that certainly exists.
All right. And what do we want to use to do that? What's your action? Attune?
Yeah, that's if a tune is allowed, I'll do it, but otherwise I'd probably say command.
No, I like attune. You can use attune.
Okay. Cool.
All right, it's going to get you to 0 heat, so somebody go ahead and drop the heat down for the Umbral Means crew to 0. You guys have done such a great job managing it. It's good to have a spider.
Oh yeah.
All right, is anybody going to pay a point for a 3rd downtime?
Oh, I'm out of
Elias
coins.
No, but I am going
Yes.
to get an automatic third action.
What? you
Yeah,
do
buddy.
I get with connected, with calculating, I get +1 downtime action.
what? Ah, nice. All right, let's go ahead and do Galen's freebie.
Mhm. Yep, we're gonna do the indulge vice. So my usual, I've been telling stories at the pub. Now it's just sit back and listen to open mic night.
All right, so that you'll be doing it with prowess then.
I thought it was you do it with the whichever you have the least points in.
Oh, that's right. I was looking at the XP. So yeah, insight or resolve.
Cool. We'll take resolve. That's the one that makes sense in my head. He's relaxing and that is replenishing his resolve.
I like it.
Nice.
That takes you down to 1 stress. Well done, sir.
I'll take it.
All right. Anybody else for a 3rd?
Elias, for sure.
All right, Elias. What are we going to do?
I'm going to try to finish out this resolve. I'll go ahead and spend my coin and level up in resolve.
Nice. What are you going to take the Pippin?
Well, with having a new ghost cat, I think attune's probably the right function for that. So I'm excited to get in there.
Very nice. And now your lowest attribute is 2 dice for when you try to deal with stress before, so that's great.
Yeah.
All right. Reagan, I think you raised your hand. Joe, you wanted to take a 3rd?
I did. I've got unstressed remaining. I think it's probably a good idea to indulge some vice, so I'll kind of work that into as I'm working through like putting this idea out there. Like I'm also kind of grappling with the idea of using my connection to the Veil to assist my cohorts and do some real soul searching on kind of balancing both life and unlife in the way that she perceives it. So really committing now to doing some good to kind of balance those scales.
Fantastic. Let's go ahead and do it.
Yeah, so I have 2 in everything now, so I'm gonna use resolve. Nice.
Very, very
Nice.
4, 5, 6.
Sofray, thanks for the follow. All right. Anybody else?
Can we go above 3? Because I will spend a coin to do a 4th.
Can you? I think you can. I don't know the answer to that. Hold on. Let's take a look here.
I don't think
each
you can do it
additional
by
activity from the
paying
list costs 1
money.
coin or 1 rep. So yeah, you definitely can. You want to take a 4th?
Yeah, and Galen's, mindful of his team. He wants to make sure everybody gets out okay, or if not okay, can get them back to fighting strength. So he wants to start a long-term project of get us a doctor.
I think that's probably a good idea. We do
Finally.
have some farm here, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
So where are now? And see, what's nice now is it'll be a tier 1 doctor because you guys are tier 1. So now's the time to get it, right? So that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Get a doc. That is going to be under clocks. Create a new actor. Make that a 6er. And let me give everybody. Roman will be the owner. I'll give everybody else visibility to it.
Can we assist on a group clock on something like that? Can I contribute to it?
I don't believe so. I don't think you can assist on downtime actions.
Can I contribute to the clock as my own coin?
Oh yeah. If you definitely want to help, sure.
All right, I'll spin a coin after this for that.
Great. All right. So Galen, how are we going to acquire this doctor?
I would think at this point, this is going to be something where, while our reputation is unseen, unheard, etc., our name is kind of being thrown around in stories in the wind. Like, nobody can for sure pin anything on us, but it's a name enough that people recognize it. So I think he's going to put out some feelers and just essentially be in touch with his contacts on his web to look for doctors who are either looking for a new home, since everybody's kind of part of a gang if they're not just wage slaves. If he's looking for someone who's maybe trying to find a better gang to join, or they've been left out in the cold, or etc., something like that. So he's going to be surveying, I think, the who's available and approaching them.
All right, let's do a survey.
And I want to clarify, because I'm looking at the cheat sheet, and essentially it has under acquire asset permanent acquisition with this, and that mentions a long-term project. So is that an asset acquiring
it's
project, what we're doing?
Well, so acquire an asset is a temporary. So it's basically for a one-time use. So that's what Vaslav had to do in order to reduce his vice. His first thing was to acquire the asset, which was the hall, and then he used that to indulge his vice. This is strictly a long-term project.
Cool.
So you're going to use survey. So let's roll survey and see how many segments you fill. All right. So
I'll
at
take
4, you can go ahead and fill out 2 segments.
Sweet. Yeah, I asked because the connected thing that makes my heat reduction better also works on assets, so I just want to make sure we're getting
Gotcha.
the right number there.
Yep. All right, and Elias, you're going to pay the coin.
Yeah, I'll pay the coin.
And how are you going to help with getting a dock?
I think I'm gonna I guess it's probably just gonna be survey. I'm gonna survey probably along with Roman's character there to try to ask around, put some feelers out, and see in our local area who might be available to help out.
Who's is F3R one of us or?
That's Nate. That's
hey Nate. Nate's comment was maybe the real gang was the friends you made along the way. I agree, Nate. All right, let's go ahead and roll fly, Nick.
All right, let's see.
All right, 2 more segments. Got it marked for you.
I mean, I might as well drop my last coin and get in on this. Grab us a doctor.
All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
And
so
to be
what
specific, it's Physica. That's what they're
Physica, yes. What I am going to do then is now that we've kind of like gathered all of these connections together, Reagan is going to kind of use, let's say, deductive reasoning to go through, think about connections, like things she's overheard with being in the Blue Coats, like find someone who is reliable, like maybe someone mentioned like, someone could be bought, all that sort of things. And I'm going to study our list of applicants.
Love it. So basically, Reagan's doing the interviews.
Yeah.
Yeah, Reagan is exactly who you want as the HR department.
All right, you guys have acquired yourself a Physiker. We're going to figure out before season 2 the name of our Physiker. But congratulations, that was a very effective downtime. Very, very nice. All right, let's go back. And I want to talk about season 1. And I want to start off with you, Cornelius. So, Vaslav, remind me, is this the only time you've played Blades?
I played before the space version, Space Cowboys version.
The Scum and Villainy, right.
Yes, yeah.
So my question for you, and it's going to end up being a question for all of you. For you, Vaslav, what through 6 sessions, what's new for you for Blades? What is something that you didn't know about Blades that you now feel you do know about, or thoughts you have about Blades that maybe after playing 6 sessions you've acquired?
It's the new thing is mainly the downtime actions, because we play them out a little bit more invested in them. It's basically part of the game as well, which we just rolled a few dice and that was it. And it's much more fun to know that, you go to a pub to chill out there, you try to find a doctor, then you go through the applicant. So that's the thing, and that's really great on the game, that you're still playing the game while doing this maintenance, and you're thinking of where do I spend the skills.
Yeah, and there's some GMs, I think of Jared from Stream of Blood. Jared makes it an entire session of downtime. He does a lot of more role playing and stuff with it than we do. Patrick, thanks for the follow, buddy. He does a real neat job of that. I think we do a little bit in between, right? So we don't make it purely mechanical. We put some story behind it. But something we can talk about for season 2 is doing a lot more play in the downtime. How about for you, Joe? What's changed after 6 sessions?
Yeah, I feel like, because I've come at this from GMing a couple of linked one-shots to being a player. My usual role is being a forever GM, so I actually get to play. I feel like what really has... what's changed about my perception of Blades is the little decisions that we make in the beginning that really affects the game going forward. Things like our starting moves, and more prevalently, the decision to take Untraceable as our crew's reputation. I feel like that is a huge tone setter, more so than my previous experience running it. So. Yeah, little decisions at the beginning that really, really skew how we're playing this game, and there's been a lot of times where it's been at a detriment to, like, there are so many things we could have done that would make this so much easier.
Yeah.
But it's way more interesting to commit to this reputation.
Yeah, I mean, and I would say that about role playing in general, right? You know, obviously, some role playing is going to have some metagaming, but often it's far more interesting to play the roles as opposed to do the metagaming. I completely agree. Roman, this was your first time playing Blades, right? This is your first Blades campaign. What did you think about going in? What do you think now?
Going in, I was intrigued and excited about the idea of we're running a heist crew without having to do all the, well, let's take 3 sessions and write down every possible thing that could be a stick in the wheel and how to get around it. And there's no tension to that. There's no, you're making a grocery list, and that's not what I want in my heists. And I was excited to see how well this kind of pause, go back, wait, I have that in my pocket, boom, works, and it works really well. And I think it was about session 3 or so where I think we really started using the assists and the flashbacks much more effectively. And for the way my brain wheels have been turning, it's almost like I have to allow my forever GM part of my brain to just go, wait, you're allowed to help tell the story here. This isn't, this isn't D&D.
Yep.
So I've really enjoyed kind of letting that blend of player and GM brain work together.
Yeah, I'm amazed. I mean, obviously, even though this is very different than most Powered by the Apocalypse games, you can tell that that's where it started, right? You can tell that's where Mr. Harper kind of began the design of this. I can tell you that, playing games like Blades has changed me as a GM in other games. So it has allowed me to say, it's not me telling the story. You guys are characters in the story. It's the table telling the story. Mm-hmm. And even if you watch me run Forbidden Lands, which I'll be plugging here in a little bit, that's how I do it in everything I play, even in my Star Wars games now. All 4 of you are in one of my Star Wars games now. You guys know that I really like the truth at the table. I like the players shaping the world as we go, just because, again, it makes it all just that much more interesting. So yeah, I'm with you, man. It's changed me as a GM playing these types of games. Now, Nick,
it's games like this that really the mechanics help with the GM is not a combative element. The GM is a part of the story itself.
Exactly. It gets rid of that adversarial. I completely agree. Now, how about you, Nick? Our no longer RPG virgin. You were a virgin before we got started with all this, but now I think you play more RPGs than all of us combined.
Yeah, I got the bug. I keep joining campaigns trying to get into some more.
That's fantastic.
But yeah, what I was going to say is the evolution that I've come to. I mean, getting into this world, like, oh, is this going to be this, this Overwatch young kid protecting his group and fighting the good fight from afar. Everything we've done has been close encounters. So just going, well, I can't do that. I haven't used my long rifle yet, and evolving and going, this is super cool. I'm finding unique, interesting ways to still to find this character, because nothing's set in stone. That's what I love about it. I mean, you can have something in mind, and then you're thrown into this world that you don't know too much about just yet, and go, oh, this is the niche. This is the path that this character is going to take.
Yep.
And I've grown from that, and also tapping into that creative kind of thing in your brain again that I haven't used since I was little. Everything's been so analytical and min-maxy that you're sitting there going, what's the coolest thing that can happen here? Yeah. That's what I love about this.
No, I agree. So one quick question from you. This was different than I think any of our other sessions, because I did something a little bit different, and I really would be curious to know how you guys felt about it. As I'm talking to more people that run Blades, and I do reread the book again, what I did here is I took your approach, I took your engagement roll, and I built the score and set the scene. Whereas before it'd been a little, we'd spent time, really talking through what it would look like and what the opening scene would look like. Whereas I just said, you know what? No, you guys determine the approach, you guys determine the engagement roll, and then I'm just going to drop you in there, which I feel like is more Blades than I had been doing it before. And I wanted to know if my one concern about is removing agency from you as players. So did you like being really dropped into? I mean, coming into this today, you had no idea